I live for party games, and I have 4 specifically that are my go-to. So I'm like a big sucker for ad-lib or improv, which is why naturally I first reach for Chameleon. Oh, also I'm gonna just assume that you know how to play these games in this video. If you don't, there's links in the description that nobody is going to click a link in a YouTube video to read a board game manual for a game that they don't even know. No one's gonna do that, Chris. But the information is there anyways. I love just like a good passion-filled argument over something so incredibly inconsequential. And I relish that look of realization on a player's face when they recognize that the word that they decided to go with was a little bit too obscure, and now everybody turns and is incredibly sus of them, and they have to like frantically explain, no, it's not, it's because of the, oh shoot, but I can't say the reason because then the Chameleon, the real one, will know what the word is, so they have to like explain without explaining and just really, it's best when you're playing with a group or like a couple people that you know incredibly well, and you can basically read their minds. That you just say a word and give them a look, and that connection happens. That is when the experience is elevated even further. I love Chameleon. I will say though, I think the game is best played when it's very go, go, go. You don't have time to pause and really think of a good word. There is nothing worse than the entire game coming to a screeching halt for like 3 minutes in complete silence as every other player waiting slowly loses interest. Really, I think there's like 2 kinds of people. People that enjoy that style of game, or, and boy, I'm about to expose myself as the homeschooler that I am, Settlers of Catan. But, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was granted a single wish that could be used for anything across time and space, I would wish for the rules of Settlers of Catan to be a little bit different. Because so many times I developed this slow burn, long domination plan, only to have the rug pulled out from me when suddenly someone just has 10 points and they win. It doesn't matter. It's over. We're done. You lost. I have plans. I have schemes. We will grovel at the feet of the only person with access to sheep on the entire island, and suddenly someone gets 10 points and the game's over. Same with like a Ticket to Ride. Honestly, I just want to like play them like Monopoly. My number 2. Look, I'm what's known as a crazy radical leftist because I want crazy radical things like universal basic income. But the second that I sit down at a Monopoly table, the inner capitalist rages out. Give your boy a pair of suspenders and a monocle because you should have read the fine print, my friend. You should have read the fine print. I have one strategy in that game, which is to buy. And then inevitably, when I consistently get terrible rolls after that and see 0 return on my investment, it's cry. And honestly, you haven't truly experienced Monopoly until you've written up contracts with other players. For example, if you front me 20% of the cost of this property, I will deduct 20% of your rent every time that you land on it. Write that down in a contract, have them sign it, you have documentation. That's when the game really gets going. Maybe that's why I haven't played a game to completion in like 9 years. We always just end it out of time. But my number 1 favorite party game of all time, no questions asked. If you mention this in my presence, my ears will perk and I'm ready to play and take you down. This game is Uno. I live for this game. You don't even understand. It is in my soul. It is in my DNA. I don't have DNA. I have UNO. It's so great because the rules are so simple and easy to explain, although you basically never have to because everybody knows how to play Uno. There's no words in it. There's no like potential language barriers. It's numbers only, which are pretty universal in the world. Everybody knows that game from their childhood. It's just instant connection with anybody. And there is nothing more satisfying in the world than seeing the sheer smug look on the person to the right of you's face when they lay down a draw 4 card and then you slap down 1 on top of that. That's a power move. You don't have to draw 4. The person to the left of you has to draw 8. Yes, that is the only way to play Uno. Yes, stacking should be a thing. Speaking of house rules, there's so many potential house rules with that game. It is so modifiable. It's like The Sims of party games. In fact, my favorite house rules come from my friend Andrew. And boy howdy, did he have a lot of house rules. His family had so many that I'm probably remembering like 5% of them. But for example, when a 5 is played, suddenly the game is slapjack. And the last person to slap their hand on top of the 5 has to draw either 4 cards or, for ultimate pain, the entire pile. The pile that you're slapping your hands on, not the draw from pile. That would be that's too much. Another house rule, when it's red, suddenly silence. His mother came up with this one, but every individual word that you say, you pick up a card. So you say a sentence, you're picking up 8 cards, boy. This game is so simple and yet so brutal. And I'm particularly fond of it because it's how I met one of my first college friends. Was a game of Uno on campus that they just happened to walk by. I said, hey, do you want to join us with Uno? They said, sure, sat down, and then proceeded to immediately just try and take him down. And failed. They took me down. And that was a solid foundation for a solid friendship. I love Uno. What about you? What's your favorite like go-to party game? And why is that? Because I am always on the lookout for new ones. And I would love, if you would love to introduce me to a new one, I would love to be introduced to a new one. So let me know. And next time, if I ever happen to see you at like BlimeyCon or VidCon or something, say hi and let's play.